Hello everyone, so I am back here with another vinyl review, or vinyl haul as I like to call it. So I'm going back home today, going back home on a plane. So I'm gonna just show everything relatively quickly so I can pack it up and bring it back home with me. But yeah, so I basically accumulated quite a few records again throughout my entire stay here for the second semester. So that is all done pretty much, and I'm going back to see my family, which is cool. And I have some other stuff too. I have some CDs and other things, but I think I'll show those later because there's a lot of them, and I also have a lot of records and a lot of stuff I need to show off. So that'll be for another day, I think. But yeah, I have a bunch of records, and I have a bunch of I got like three DVDs, I think, that were all like Buckethead paraphernalia kind of stuff. But I'll show that later. This video is just vinyls. So starting off here, I got Pop Food by Jack Stauber. You can look at that. Pretty awesome. So this album I got off of his website, this YouTuber called Jack Stauber, and he basically just makes a lot of music, a lot of like claymation and cartoon animation, like little short snippety videos, and he makes a lot of music too, which is Pop Food. It's I think one of his second or third albums. He made a couple of other EPs and stuff too, but this is one of his more popular ones. So that's the front and the back. And this is just regular black, a nice clean vinyl that you got there. Yeah, so he's supposed to have, he has two like bigger albums out right now. Pop Food is the one I have, and there's Hilo, I think. And he might actually put that one on vinyl, so I'm definitely gonna keep my eyes peeled for that. But yeah, if you ever want to check that artist out, he has like a lot of just like YouTube videos and stuff like online. He sells a lot of merch too, but he has like mostly CDs, but he did have this one vinyl that I thought was really interesting. And I'll show this later, but this whole thing also went with this really cool poster. It was kind of like this weird like human thing. I can't even explain it. I'll have to show it later, but it was just like this really weird drawing. It was like a circular like human figure shape, and it was just weird. But yeah, that's Jack Stauber for you. Hopefully I'll see more of his stuff later, and I'll definitely buy anything if he puts any more stuff out. So the next thing that I have, and I don't know if I'm going to open this or not, just because it's kind of a stress to open, is Boris Pink. And I found this record at my local record store, and it was actually in the used section, which is an unusual thing to see for something this nice. It was basically a brand new, basically a huge pack of vinyls from Boris. And I've actually listened to Pink, but this whole record apparently has some bonus tracks in it too, so I found that pretty interesting. I'm not going to take all of them out because they look pretty much the same, but here's what they look like basically. It's just this really cool, like, pink splatter. Really awesome looking. Really enjoy it. And there is, I think, 3 LPs in here, so there's a lot. I don't want to mess stuff up too much. But what I will show you is in here, they got, I believe, they aren't liner notes, I think. Actually, no, they are liner notes. Yep. That whole thing on the inside there. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but there's kind of like an outline of the band on the front part. And just plain old Pink on the back. But yeah, I think I listened to this record a couple of times, at least once, and I thought it was really cool. So I'm glad to have my hands on one of these. Definitely not a cheap thing to buy, but it's definitely a really cool album, and I can't wait to play it back in my turntable. So the next thing that we got here is something from the one and only King Giz, and that is this little, I wouldn't call it an EP, it's more of like a single, just a little single, just a little sampler from potentially their next album, allegedly Fishing for Fishies, I believe. That's what I've been hearing on Reddit, but I honestly don't know. But anyways, so this is the Cyaboogie single, and I think the back part is Alkaline. Yeah, that's the back part. And I wasn't gonna buy this at first, but then I saw the back of it, and I was like, no, I'm sold. I have to get this. So yeah, I paid like ridiculous shipping to get this here. But yeah, this is yeah, I actually really like this thing. It's really awesome, and thankfully it wasn't wrapped or anything in the mail, which is always my worry when I buy stuff from that far away. But you can see everything looks really nice. And here's the front part of it. You can see there's this little smiley face, and there's the back. Pretty straightforward, just good old little black vinyl. And what I find interesting about this cover is, when I first saw it, I thought that it was like the front part of like the classic Gator cartoon that you see on King Gizzard. Like, they have the song called The River, and they have on Quarters and a lot of the other stuff. They'll have this weird little Gator cartoon with the weird eyes and everything. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's actually a fish, I believe. Okay, I have to get this in here. Alright. Here we go. So, the next thing I have, which I long awaited, I was looking for one of these forever, but I eventually got one, which is really awesome, is I got a really nice Igloo Ghost vinyl. And even though it's like a very electronic album, I don't know if the quality of the sound will really change by it being on a vinyl. But the vinyl itself is just put together so well. Like, it's just this really cool thing that I'm glad I got my hands on, because the whole way it's set up is really cool. Because as you can see, on the inside here is like this one of those weird like worm things that is often on the covers, which is really awesome. And the vinyl itself, see if I can take it out without messing up stuff, is basically just a clear color like this, and there's weird little eyeballs in the front there. And then they have also like a sticker book in the inside, and then after that they have this really cool like little, I shouldn't say little, but it's really big like booklet just full of like just this art from the Igloo Ghost. I don't know what it's called. There's this whole lore around these characters, so it's basically just this comic that has like all of these characters and they're on adventures and doing stuff. I mean, I won't recite the entire story of what's on here, obviously, but basically it's just this giant like story, or there's this lore or something behind the characters that are on these covers. I don't know the details, but I'll perhaps look into it later on. So, after that, I got, as you can maybe expect at this point, another copy of Polygon Wonderland. This one, I believe, is from Stolen Body Records, and as you can see, it's just a normal cover on the front. And then they have a really cool design in the back I like. It's a cool kind of like sun-shaped design with everything going out and all these images juxtaposed with each other. And then on the inside, they got a really nice picture of the band right there, you can see. They're just chilling, and they have, I like the background that they used for this too. It's kind of just this collage all put together. And then what I really liked about this version was actually what the color of the vinyl was, because you could see it's this like split color and it's like a splatter combined, which is really awesome. And that's just the front part of it. That's the back, pretty much the same. And I don't know if there's any, no, there's no liner notes in here, I don't think. But yeah, so that's the Stolen Body Records version of Polygon Wonderland. I'm really glad how it turned out. I'm glad that I got my hands on it, and I think it's really cool. Alright, so after that, this is another thing I got with Boris. I had a kind of a shopping spree based on more Japanese rock music, or like the drone rock or whatever or noise music, I guess I should say, in that general genre. Because I got Boris, and I also got Melt Banana vinyl. And I listened to this maybe sometime recently, and I really loved it. So when I saw it on the record store, I was like, okay, I should probably get this because it's something that I definitely think is one of the better albums, I think. And so it's just normal black on the outside. And I like the little ants that are kind of running up on this part of it, if you can see. And then on the other side, I don't think there's anything. No, there's no ants on the other side. It's just the songs. But yeah, so that is the Melt Banana vinyl that I got. Oh yeah, and I think on the inside there's some liner notes. Just a nice, looks like a printed blue sheet of paper with all the notes on it. So after that, I got another thing that I ordered online, and I didn't think I would be able to get this just because of how expensive they usually are. I missed the party when this album came out, unfortunately, because I wasn't collecting vinyls at that time. But what I got was an Altered Beast edition of Murder of the Universe. So there is the cover, there's on the front, there's the back. And honestly, this album might be like one of my favorite Giz albums and one of the favorite covers because of just like how detailed this is. There isn't any words on it or anything. The name isn't put on here, but it's just everything's so cool. It's basically it's theorized that like this cover is basically like Nonagon Infinity. I think I'm in Your Mind Fuzz and maybe a couple of other album concepts mixed into one, which is really cool. This is honestly, as I said before, my favorite album cover design from King Giz. So on the inside, you got this really cool center here, and what I don't know if this is what it does, but this might be like one of those things where if you spin it, it looks like these characters on the inside are moving. Because as you can see, there's a gator and what appears to be like a vulture on the front. And then on the back, I don't entirely know what's on the back. But there's like a nonagon, there's some skulls, and there's some other shapes in the back if you can look really closely there. And the color of the vinyl is just kind of a nice split color. It's gold, green, and blue, which looks really nice. So yeah, that's basically what the vinyl looks like. And then after that, another part that I was excited about was that they had this booklet on the inside too. You can see that right there. And it has a whole bunch of like really cool concept art. I think a lot of people who look into the Gizverse, there's a lot of like different stuff from different albums that are kind of hidden in these illustrations. So it's basically just all the credits, all the lyrics and everything, and it's just a really well put together, and I really enjoy how everything turned out in this. So that is Murder of the Universe. I'm very happy that I was able to get this one, because after this, in terms of like my collection, I have just about everything except for I don't have Nonagon Infinity. Those are very hard to find. And I don't have Flying Microtonal Banana, I believe. I think I have everything else. I might be wrong though. There might be something that I don't have yet. But those are at least the two I so far have not obtained. So other than that, I have a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, I have one Gizzard album too that I haven't showed you yet. I have a Gumboot Soup. But I have a whole bunch of other stuff that I got that was just like older things. Very used, just cheaper older albums, which is still really nice. And what was interesting about some of these is that I got two Emerson, Lake and Palmer albums for like $10, and the reason I spent $10 on them was that I actually found $10 lying on the street, so I decided just to like spend them on that kind of stuff, which was interesting. Basically, I got free money, so that was kind of amazing that I was able to find that. So as you can see, I got two Emerson, Lake and Palmer albums. So I got Brain Salad Surgery, and I got, I believe this is Trilogy. And I think I've listened to Brain Salad Surgery at least once. So I've listened to most of it. I haven't listened to Trilogy though. But I have, obviously, Tarkus is one of my favorite of theirs, so I have that one, which I've shown to you earlier. And this one I believe is a gatefold, so the Brain Salad Surgery album, it opens up, and there's another face in the front. And then on the inside, they got a poster and the record. I don't know if I'm going to open the poster up completely, but basically just this whole giant thing. So the record obviously is a normal black one. And that's the front and the back. So I'll definitely be stoked to play these because I don't think I've listened to Brain Salad Surgery in a while. And as I said before, I haven't listened to this one yet. So I'll definitely be wanting to look into these because from what I've heard, all the records are pretty good. So I think I'll enjoy them. So there's the back of the record. There's the inside. Here is the front and the back. I don't think there's any posters or anything in here. It's just with the other one. But yeah, so it'd be nice to finally have those in my collection because I have, I had one, so I have these two. And I don't know if they have any others. I know that there's a whole bunch of collections of their works too, but I don't know if those just include all these records together or not. So I'll have to look into that some more and see if there's anything else that I can get my hands on that would be from theirs that I might like. So moving on, I have a Black Sabbath record that I got from one of my local record stores. And this is just a pretty worn out copy. There's nothing too extraordinary about it. It's just a nice little Black Sabbath record with what seems to be someone who lovingly taped the binding and drew on the back of it. It's pretty good handwriting actually, so it's interesting. They have that there. So this record unfortunately is a little bit warped. I don't know if it's noticeable on the camera or not, but the record's a bit warped, so it might not be able to play, but as what I can see, it looks like it's not scratched up too bad in terms of condition, and it should play fine as long as it's not too wobbly, which I don't think it is. But yeah, so that's Black Sabbath record. And I wonder if these are the liner notes in here. Or this is just this is just an ad. This is just the sleeve. But it's a very old sleeve. It looks really cool. Okay. So moving on here, I got 2 more of these left. Actually, no, 3. I got 3 records left. We're almost done. So the first one I'm going to show you is that I got myself a copy of Gumboot Soup, which was King Gizz's last record. And this one honestly isn't my favorite one, but I do like a good number of tracks on here. Basically what I would call Oddments 2. There's a lot of tracks in here that are about just they're just B-sides from a lot of the records that they made, from the 4 record that they made in 2017, plus this one. So you can, if you kind of listen through the songs, you can definitely kind of tell where they might have been, what era of the Giz music in 2017 where it came from. Because there's just a lot of just interesting, weird little Oddment songs, I should say, on this record. So yeah, that's pretty much what Gumboot Soup is. It's just kind of an interesting, just this kind of mix-match collection of songs. And on the inside, they pretty much, like usual, they just got the liner notes of the sleeve. There it is. And there's some art. And then on the vinyl looks really cool. This is another official Flightless one, I believe. It just has like a half red, half white red splatter on there, which looks really cool. And I love how the splatter turned out in this one especially too. So hopefully this will sound really good on my turntable because it's nice and thick and it looks in really good condition, so I'm glad that I was able to get that one. And it not, of course, being in the mail, I keep having to knock on wood to make sure none of these get destroyed. Because I tell you, I see a lot of stuff. I see a lot of stuff of people just like getting records, like expensive ones too, that are just like completely just ruined from the mail. So I've been lucky so far in terms of any of the stuff like getting too badly battered. But going on, I got, and I haven't listened to this band, but I thought I'd check it out because it's supposed to be pretty good. And Spirit, the 12 Dreams of Dr. Sardonicus. And there's the front. There's the back of it right there. And it's just a cheap old $5 record with in pretty good condition. The vinyl itself, unfortunately, was a bit scratched, but I just think it needs some cleaning. But there's the inside right there. And here's the record on the inside. Just a nice old record. I might need, again, as I said before, it's really fingerprinted. I probably will need to give it a good cleaning when I get back to my house. Because some of these are just old and they're just completely fingerprinted up with there's just goop on them. So you have to be a little bit careful. But yeah, I've heard good things about this record. I've never listened to this band before, but it just kind of caught my eye, and I think it'll be something that I enjoy because it's definitely in that kind of genre of music or more obscure-ish kind of stuff that I generally enjoy from a lot of like older music especially. So hopefully I'll be able to give that a listen as I'm going on to my spring break here and enjoying my time. So I have one more that I got, and that would be Yes Drama. And this is another one, I'm obviously more familiar with this band, but I've not listened to this record. I've listened to the other ones, but I heard again that this one was a pretty decent release from them. Definitely a later one. I believe this one's from the 80s and not the 70s. But there's the inside right there. And I didn't notice this before, but they got some interesting, what looks to be like, I don't know, some cats, and what looks to be some like tropic birds or some weird birds right around there, which I didn't notice before and I find pretty interesting. So yeah, this definitely mirrors the covers of the other records, so I don't know if it's in the same vein as them, or if it sounds completely different, or if it has a more 80s sound to it. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm intrigued to give it a listen, because I definitely like a lot of Yes's music, and I'd just be more than happy to have another decent record from theirs, or another really good record from theirs in my collection. So there's the front, there's the back. Nothing too extraordinary, just an old black vinyl. But yeah, so I think I got this one at another record store, which is what I got all the really old records from, at least. So yeah, so hopefully I'll enjoy this record like I did with the other ones. Because I have, in terms of Yes records, they're very cheap, so I usually can get them, you can usually get most of the collection of them. So I have the first one, I have Closer to the Edge. I think there's one called, Revolver. I'm not entirely sure if that's the name of it. I always have a mental block on that one. And then I have, this one. So, yeah, so that's kind of like a 4... So I currently have 4 Yes records. And yeah, so that's it for my collection. I don't have, again, I have some stuff at home I haven't shown, but this is basically the big pile of stuff that I always seem to accumulate throughout a not a very wide expanse of time, but yeah, so it definitely was quite an interesting time just going around and looking through stuff, and I honestly got pretty lucky. I didn't think I'd get a lot of these things because a lot of them were either rare stuff or just things that I didn't think I'd be able to buy or even find. So it was really nice that I was kind of lucky this time and got some interesting stuff. But anyway, so I definitely did this review, and I'll probably be doing another one of like just not vinyl but of CDs. I got a whole bunch of stuff from Travis Dickerson, just from this store, and there was also a whole bunch of Buckethead kind of stuff that I got too. And so I'll definitely show that, and I'll show maybe some other the rest of the records that I did from the last time that I was at my house, because there is kind of a collection out there too, records that I did not show. And I don't know if I'll ever when I'll be able to do this, but I have a bunch of like Polygon Dwanaland records that I don't usually show. But if I have like a big enough collection, I might someday like just make a video just like showing like my Polygon Dwanaland records, because I collect a lot of those for some reason or the other. But yeah, I don't know, that's just a strange fixation to me. I just like Polygon Dwanaland records. That is my life passion. That is my life goal, to collect all the hundreds of Polygon Dwanaland records. I will have a room that is just dedicated to Polygon Dwanaland records once I'm in my 30s. It'll just be like this entire room full of they'll all be like King Gizzard Polygon Dwanaland records. Just the entire thing will just be like stacks. Yeah. I mean, personally, I hope that doesn't happen, but I definitely am a big collector of those. So, yeah, so I hope that I'll be able to make some more of these videos, and maybe even if I get lucky, since the year is ending, I'm definitely planning on doing like other kinds of videos too, not just vinyl reviews. I want to maybe make some analysis videos on like certain artists, or talk about certain topics in music, and maybe try to put my own spin on things if I have the capability of doing that. But yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to branch out a bit. But for now, I just kind of enjoy doing this and just showing what I have in terms of vinyl, because I really like to collect them, and I really am passionate about a lot of like these artists and things in kind of the world of music. So hopefully I can branch out and do some more of that stuff in the future. But for now, I give you all a good day, and I hope you all, whoever is having spring break, if you're doing whatever, just have a good weekend, and hope you all well.